I'll put the quiz up here as well once I get this thing going. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Where did I put it? Oh, come on. I've lost my quiz. I'll find it. I'll just take a picture. I know you're already done. Give me a minute. I'll get set up and then we'll. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that, do you? Good enough. Okay, there we go. So if you're done, feel free to flip it over, send it towards the middle. We'll see how you did. I'm sure you did great. Even if you guess, like I said, if you miss a few of these, but definitely you should do well on the easy ones, the easy reads. Usually I'll warn you if there's a hard read coming up. This one was relatively easy, so you can sort of brace yourself. That's an extra one, or you save it for posterity. Already. Wow, that was quick. You guys are so much quicker than my calculus students. That's not a quiz for me, that's yours. Yeah. All right. Why do you always go that order off? Oh, that's a good question. Is this for me? That's hold on, okay. Yeah, so here's why, is because as I'm walking, I might, I spilled them all over the place. And then I can just pick them all up and square them off really quickly. So now check it out. So hold on a sec. There it is. So now, let's see, turn this one. Usually it's quicker than this. Here we go. Here's the corner. So this is, the majority of them are pointing this way. So I can just pull these out. There. So it just helps me to orient them all in the same way. And now they're all set. Super quick. So anyway, yeah, you're so much quicker than my calculus students. They always like to savor their problems, I guess, maybe. Okay, so what acronym caused confusion for one grad student? It was IDK. I don't know if you remember in the reading. I'll just go over this. We're going to be discussing this in a bit. What two types of mindsets were discussed? We had the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. Those are the two. One researcher article summarized difference between two mothers and children and how the mothers treated the children. It was from America and Asia were the two specifically. And then how many strategies? I don't know if this is a good question. Yeah, well, too late. I did it. There were 4 at the end. You remember the 4 strategies? We're going to be discussing. That's what we're doing today. So let's get back to this. We did the quiz. Let's talk about the book just briefly. So here's what I would like you to do is open up your book. If you don't have your book with you, then do this the next time you find your book. Go to the back of the book. You should see pages that are numbered in the 200s. Yeah, that's what you should see. If you see like 160 or something, apparently some of the books were defective. And so I just want to make sure everyone has a non-defective book. So if you're missing pages, we will get you a new book. That's what this is all about. I'm guessing that no one's complaining. So I'm guessing that it's all good. Goes to like 214 or something. So in the 200s is the important thing. So if you're good, if you find that you're missing a page though, or whatever, let me know. I'm sure that they'll have extras maybe, I don't know. But okay, that was that. They had asked me, I'd got an email yesterday asking me to do that. Next, let's talk about mindset, just briefly. And then I've got some things for you to discuss about mindset. So one of the things about this, the fact that we've sort of made our own little book is that when you turn to page, whatever page this is, 40, I don't know if you were like me, if you looked at that and thought, I can't do it. I couldn't. Even with my glasses, I couldn't interpret or read what was going on. Ay, 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 come on. There it is. Yeah, that's like that diagram. I felt like I didn't want to even try to parse the things. And so I Googled and I found a bigger version of this that I could zoom in. It still is a little pixelated, but it's not terrible. So this is the two mindsets, at least on that diagram. So if you look at the diagram, you have a fixed mindset and you have the growth mindset. This is directly from this book. I found it online, and so I figured I could copy it for here too. So anyway, just to remind you of what your book said, hopefully you caught this, is that there are two different ways of looking at the world. One of them is the fixed mindset set, and this is that intelligence is static, that we're stuck with what we've got. We can't grow. We're stuck with, we might be able to learn new facts, but that's about it. And so this leads to a desire to look smart and therefore a tendency to avoid challenges, to give up easily, to see effort as fruitless or worse. So these are the things that you might not be able to read. I couldn't read them. Ignore useful negative feedback, feel threatened by the success of others. And as a result, they may plateau. People with this mindset plateau early and achieve less than their full potential. And all of this conforms to a deterministic view of the world. So we're going to be discussing this in a bit, but we all probably identify with this to some extent. I'm not saying that you have this and that you're in a fixed mindset state, but I know that from my own personal experiences that there are times in my life when I try to avoid challenges, when I give up easily, when I see efforts as fruitless or worse, and so on. That this is, I can definitely identify with those from certain things that I've gone through or challenges that I faced. On the other hand, a growth mindset, so to contrast this, growth mindset leads to a desire to learn, therefore a tendency to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, see effort as the path to mastery, learn from criticism, find lessons and inspiration from the success of others, and as a result, these types of people reach ever higher levels of achievement, and this gives them a greater sense of free will. So I love it that this diagram, these little bubbles get bigger and bigger. It's like they're expanding, like I'm getting stronger as we go down here. So it's just an interesting contrast there between those two. So I wanted to make sure that you could see this because I had trouble when I was looking at it in this. So that was the reason I have that up there. Okay, so first things first. Yes. So what we'll do, yeah, I guess I have this typed up, but I don't know what my plan was. Yeah, I think that, okay, we're going to have some groups in just a minute because I know that that's much more fun for you than talking in a big group. But can any of you think of a time when you exhibited a growth mindset or a fixed mindset, and you don't mind sharing those things in this group, sort of in this this larger group? I'm trying to think for myself. I guess I should have come up with some examples so that I wouldn't have anyone here have to be the very first person. So let's see, fixed mindset. I think that when I was in college, I was, so I went into college like everyone else in college. I went into college as a pre-med major. Like everyone's a pre-med major as freshmen, right? No? Seemed like it was the case at the college I went to. Anyway, I was a pre-med major because I thought that's what you would do. Actually, it's because of the Game of Life. But Hasbro's Game of Life, that's another story though, which I can tell you another time. But so I went into college as a pre-med major, and I quickly discovered that I did not enjoy it. I did not like it, but I persisted in my fantasy for quite some time. However, I just tell you about one class that broke me. It was comparative vertebrate anatomy. So let me tell you about, I don't know if anyone here is in biology or has to do anatomy, so you know about comparative anatomy. You'll learn. Comparative vertebrate anatomy, we had to dissect various things, but there was the cat. We had to dissect a cat. I had no problem cutting open a cat. My problem was having to memorize the names of all of the bones. Okay, the bones weren't that bad, to be honest. But then it got to the muscles. I had to memorize the names of all the muscles. And then I had to memorize the names of all the places a bone and a muscle touched one another. They all have names, and they're not all logical. And I had a really hard time. And I felt like during that season, I remember feeling the way that this list here, uh, I remember feeling that this is part of this memory is that I gave up easily. I saw effort as fruitless or worse. And I eventually dropped the course. I dropped out of comparative vertebrate anatomy. I was just like, I cannot do this anymore. So that I felt like was a real example, at least from my college career, where it was like, I'm way over here, way over here. It's all really, that stuff there. So, so what about you? Has anything come to mind that you don't mind sharing? That's the problem, is that it may be something personal, which is fine, and we don't have to all share. I thought I'd see if anyone wants to share something. Yeah, what do you think, Bodhi?
I had a fixed mindset in high school math class, and every time we had like a big test coming up, I walked in that room and I knew for a fact I wasn't going to get anything higher than a 65.
Amazing. So did you see the quote in here about math?
Uh,
I'm going to read it, so not to worry.
Yep.
Uh,
I did see it, but if you want to quote it and
Yeah,
refresh
no, I will do it. I'll do it. I didn't know if that sort of brought back bad memories for you or not. I'll read it in a bit. I had planned. I've got it underlined. So very nice. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, so it's hard when you have something like that. It feels like the math for you was like comparative vertebrate anatomy for me. If you walk in there and you're like, this is just the way it is. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change, but that's not a growth mindset. What other things, either fixed or growth? I mean, it may be that your experiences have been mostly fixed. I don't know. We can do growth mindset as well. So growth is the way we want to be. If you believe McGuire, though, it seems that her critique of our culture is that we are culturally a fixed mindset. I thought that was striking. Yeah, so trying to think through, like with that in mind, it's like trying to come up with a time when I exhibited a growth mindset. It's like, wow, how, I feel like I have. There's been incidents like I was contacted by a mathematician from Akron, wanted some help with, it's like 15 years ago, help with um, editing some books. He had a book that Intel was putting out a book, and Microsoft, but there's some books that required mathematics and needed some editing and some typesetting, and so I helped him with that. But that process, I was just like, well, once I found out, it sounded like fun, and I had this attitude of just, I will do it. I will figure it out if I don't know how to do it, and that sort of thing. We are passionate. The things we are passionate about, I feel like in those areas, we have a growth mindset. It's hard to apply that to math or to anatomy if those are the things that are difficult. Yeah, let me read that quote since it came up. Thank you, Bodhi, for bringing that up. I've got it here. And the reason I love this is because this is what I tell my math students. Where are they? Here it is. Just a minute. Yeah, there it is. So this is on the top of 42 if you're really curious. Summing up the findings from, I don't know, there was some sort of a thing that this is the whole Asian versus American growth and so forth. But summing up the findings says, perhaps more than any other subject, mathematics requires effort, diligence, and persistence, even in the face of temporary setbacks. A focus on innate ability may discourage children from doing precisely what they must do to succeed in mathematics. I mean, that's just so striking in the sense that, I see this when I teach math. So especially when I have a freshman course in math, I try my best to explain that when you have a person who's a math major, you think they're geniuses, don't you? You think the math majors are geniuses. They are not. They are not geniuses, sorry. What they have done, the math majors have learned something. So, Makai, can you put it away? So, what they have learned, yeah, you can flip it over. Yeah, we don't need the phones now. What the math majors have learned is that if they continue, they can try and fail, but they don't give up. So they continue to work at whatever problem it is. And so the non-math majors, the people who aren't good at math, and I don't want to out Bodhi, but I'm guessing that Bodhi, you were like this, that if you got a problem, you tried it, got it wrong, you're like, I'm done.
No, I would try it again, and then
Yeah.
the teacher would come over and try to like explain it to me, and then it would make it more confusing.
Okay.
We'd be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Okay, so that may have been situational as well. But the math majors that are successful, it's generally because they've learned that you fail. It's part of being a mathematician is failing. You fail, and then you learn from your failures, and you fail again, and eventually you get it right. It's stunning I mean, that's the way my grad school was. I failed at so many things I tried to do, but eventually I got something right. I ended up getting a PhD. Okay, so anyway, that just really stuck out me. So the strategies, there were these 4 strategies. Keep the faith, stand in your power, learn. Oh, by the way, here's where these are. These are strategies to adopt a growth mindset in whatever it is that you're doing. So 4 strategies for changing your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. These are summarized on page 46. If you didn't see it, hopefully you did. So keep the faith. Second one, stand in your power. Third one, learn the neurobiological basis of a growth mindset. And number 4, start easy, end strong. So take those. Here's what I'd like you to do. So there, I've got them repeated up here, but I'd like you in groups to do the following. Answer these. What do these mean? So what do they mean? Maybe it's obvious. Maybe it'll take you 2 seconds with like one of them or another one of them, but figure out what they mean and make up an example of each one, either a real example or something you've imagined. Like if a student were in this situation, here's how they would employ this strategy. And then what can you do this semester to adopt one of McGuire's strategies? So you've got, I know this is a big job, but first of all, just make sure you understand what they mean. You might want to jot it down somewhere. So find a group, and your groups might be, I'm not going to impose groups on you this time, so that you can pick your own. Produce an example of each. So you should have 4 examples, one for each of these, of some example of how this would actually look, either a real something that you say, oh, this happened to me, or here's what I could do in this situation. Like you could pick on me if you want and say, you know, when you were in anatomy, here's what you should have done, or here's one way to have done this. And then finally, what can you do this semester to adopt one? Just one. It's dangerous to try to do too much, make too much change. So just make one change. What could you do? So take a few minutes, work with your friends, and I will come around in a minute, but you know, you can work in groups there if you'd like. And I will come around in a minute. This is such a small group here. You guys feel lonely back here? Okay.
I know, like, it's too long for me to sit there and just watch. We're all.
Like if you feel like there's no,
Everything works.
I don't know. Got all four of your good. You got all four of these figured out? Okay, so you're good. If you have questions, I'll come around and see how you do. I know this front row. Oh, you're done.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Serious?
We talked about all of this.
And you got examples?
Yeah, we had a hard time finding it, but
Oh, okay, I can get that. That's good. Okay, yeah, because everyone, I suspect that you're right.
I mean, it's just your brain grows.
Yeah.
I know more now whenever I was making. I don't have like a standing on brain.
yeah, allow yourself to get help.
Were you going to coffee house today?
I'm not.
You have to get ready.
Yeah. And coffee hour is, I mean, yeah, it's over by the time we get our butts.
Coffee hours or the mountain computer science.
Do you have a dog?
I do not.
Oh.
Why?
Because I want to see a dog.
I want to see a dog too.
Aren't there dogs around Kansas?
I don't think they're in education today. I just waited for the door and they were.
You have a cat?
I don't know when they're here. Do you have any animals?
No,
You should investigate. You should find a dog.
You should think about a cat.
Okay, well, if you have an animal, you have to pay for it.
Cats?
You don't have to. I mean, I saw a video.
Yeah, and then,
It'll go in yours.
yeah, and then you gotta pick it up out of the yard. Yeah, if it's, no, I can't live like that.
Can you get a dog and just bring it to class every day so I can visit?
I don't think that I'm allowed.
Okay, the education department is $3.
The education department is special.
But you can pay special fees too.
Oh, I'm not a special needs. Talk to Dr. Hewlett, she's special. She's got 9 dogs. All right, got them now? You got all 5 of them? All 5 of them. What's number 5?
Oh no, what is it? 4 and 3.
Because I don't want to be weird, like,
Well, the bottom three,
yeah,
it's like, okay, I think we should have three. I mean, if you're gonna count it that way, because wouldn't it be,
Can we just go ahead and
what do each of these mean? There's four entities. Example, that's four more entities. And then what are you gonna do? That's one.
Is someone like just like for teachers who take graduate Has he been allowed to do that? Has he been allowed to have a history? I mean, that'll be like. Yeah, like when they make it the first like 5 years to learn all the subversions and they figure out
Okay. Everyone got silent. Where did everyone go? Did someone sneak out? Why? Okay. Hey, let's. I guess everyone's quiet, so we might as well discuss this as a group here. So here's what we'll do. Let's see. Did this work itself out? Yeah, there it is. So we have these four things. So maybe what we could do is we could just hit the two of these for each of the four, in order. So we'll just that'll make it easier for me to write. So we'll keep the faith. So keeping the faith. So maybe we just go around and have each group do one of these. So we'll start with the first group. What did you have for keep the faith? Like, what does that mean?
To like believe in yourself and don't just give up. Like if you have a class that's getting harder, just keep pushing through. Have faith in your abilities.
Have faith in your abilities. You can do this. So about this second group here. Wait, someone missing from there too. Where'd Luke go? Is Luke out there as well? All right. Oh, here he is. Yeah. So they just elected you to give the example of keeping the faith. Well, actually, we're back at your group though. So we wanted to do what is it, and then what's an example that would of this, either just contrived or something. Did you guys come up with one? You said you had 9 examples, didn't you?
No, I said that 7.
Oh, 7. Okay. Hopefully this isn't the one you're missing. But so what is your example though? Any of you guys, the second?
Keep the faith as in like believe that you can do the stuff that God is requiring you to do.
Oh, you know what? I think I think we're mixed up here. Sorry. This because believe in yourself. That's more of a second, number 2, isn't it? for stand in your power. It's more, isn't that right? So wait, no, Trevor says no. Yeah, I mean it does apply to some degree. I'm just looking at it now, realizing that
One and two are really
they're similar, but what is the difference? If does anyone else see a difference between 1 and 2 in terms of these? What do you think?
You kind of said like, as far as like keeping the faith is like if you fail at something one time to not just like give up, but to like keep persevering and pushing through.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's sort of this, but that feels like it's like number 2 as well. Yeah.
You said kind of don't get discouraged.
Keys of faith. Okay. Don't be discouraged. Well, what's the difference between that and stand in your power?
I think standing your ground is, or like standing your power. What we decided was that it's kind of looking about how far you've come and then applying that confidence to the current situation.
Okay, so this is remember you. Just a minute. Yeah, you can make fun of me all you want, but remember that you succeeded in the past.
Yeah, and then apply it to your current situation.
Okay, so this is this. Okay, so I guess maybe this is the yeah. So I think you're right, and front row, you're doing right as well, and I think I believe you now about believing in yourself for this. But I guess I was thinking more that the contrast between 1 and 2. So let me see if you guys at all resonate with this. Is that number 1 is you're looking outward. You look for others, examples of people who have succeeded. And then this one, we're remembering that you have succeeded in the past. So I guess they do a similar thing, don't they? Where both of them are going to be, you're going to believe in yourself because, look, those people did it. You can do it too. And then here, believe in yourself because you have succeeded in the past. You can do it in the future. Sorry, now I've just derailed the whole thing where you were supposed to do it all. Okay, so did we ever get an example of the believe in the keep the faith? We never did. Did any group, this middle group? Did you get it? You did? What was your example?
Just like believe in God, because if you keep the faith, He's already said in Scripture that He's already won the victory. So, or He's already obtained victory. So, what we should do isn't run from it. So, if we keep the faith, then we can achieve victory as well.
Okay, so you're bringing this to like a spiritual thing. Which is good. So we're gonna keep the faith and in a spiritual way, in addition to sort of keeping our faith in ourselves to be able to do what we want. Okay, does anyone else have another like example, like a concrete, maybe not like either something that you've made up or? All right, well, yeah, let's go on since we can't seem to nail down. I don't know. I guess I think of the keep the faith as being, just like, so let's relate it to the faith. What makes us have faith in God is a lot of the looking back at the stories from the Bible and reminding us that God is faithful. And so we can trust in him. So I guess I take it that way, that in the same way, we can look to others and say, look, this group of students was able to do this. Maybe I can do the same. I don't know. So imitating others, imitating God. Okay, let's go on so that we don't get bogged down in this. Strategies, stand in your power. Does anyone have a stand in? I guess we've got this is similar to number 1, but do you have any stand in your power examples that you want to give? What's that?
You said that if you fail one test or if you pass, you like succeed in others. Or just remember that whenever the next test comes up.
So if you flunk on a math test, for example, you can remember all those math tests that you got A's on. So, okay, very good. So remember your successes. Yeah, here we'll just box that up. Good. So there's the example, I guess. Okay, what about the third one? What in the world, neurobiology? What in the world is this? I've lost my track of where I am, so I guess I could take whatever group. I don't think the back group. Well, although Trevor chimed in, you're in the back group, aren't you? So is anyone over here? Wait, you guys were the neurobiological people in the back here, Kyla and. Didn't,
I mean, basically what we said was, we talked about like the phenomena that kind of happens in your brain called psychological adaptation. And that's typically what happens in a growth mindset. Your mind will adapt to think more positively and do things with more positive outlook, and then naturally become more optimistic as society.
okay, so yeah, so your brain has the. I guess that you do have the ability to change. It's not stuck. You're not stuck in a rut. Yeah, that it will change. Very good. Does anyone have an example that they can describe of a neurobiological growth basis for the growth mindset? Oh yeah, what do you think in the back there, Michael? The what, huh?
Learning a new way of learning.
Oh, learning a new way of learning. Interesting. Which it forces your brain to maybe rewire. Okay, very good. Interesting. Anything else? I don't know how closely this relates, but I think it relates just a little bit. And that was when I turned 40, I decided that I would, as a midlife crisis, I would learn to ride a unicycle. And so, because I didn't have enough money for a fast car and I loved my wife too much to have an affair. So anyway, I couldn't do it. Have you seen someone ride a unicycle? It's crazy. They get balanced up on that, like it seems insane, like magic. Well, what happened was over the course of about a month, I kept trying, and I think my brain wired itself to, because I wasn't doing it with my muscles. It's automatic. It's like riding a bicycle, and I can ride a unicycle now. But it took, going through the process of failing, falling, and so forth. But I'm pretty sure that it's not that I can intellectually tell you how to ride a unicycle. That's not going to help you. You need your brain to be rewired to be able to ride a unicycle. And anyone here can do it. All three of my daughters have ridden unicycles. So it's something that you can do. It just takes some time and willingness to, spend time working at it. And understanding that your brain is not wired for unicycling right now, but it will be. You can wire it. Anyway, let's do the last one. Start easy. In strong. Let's end strong. What is this one all about? Guess we're moving back. How about this middle group here? The Evelyn and Danny. Danny? Ah, got it right. Okay, what do you guys think? Okay, so it's kind of like what it says here. You start easy, learn the skill, and then you'll make it more complex. Does anyone have an example that they could tell of this? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, what do you think in the back?
Like when I look at like how much homework I have, and you see it, it's this giant thing with a bunch of assignments, a bunch of studying, rather than like taking it piece by piece, starting with easy things and building off of that.
Oh yeah. I have the same problem. In fact, do I have it with me? I don't know if I have it with me. Yesterday I was overwhelmed and I made a list. I don't know if you guys are list people, but I made a list of all the things I had to do. And I thought if I can just do one of them, start easy, just do a little bit. And then I'll do another one and another one. It's almost the opposite of the bucket thing. You remember the bucket thing? You put the big things in first. This is almost like, let's do something easy because get the ball rolling. So anything else, other comments, anything that about this that you notice or examples that you want to give about these strategies? Now, what about the strategy that you're going to employ? Is there any of these strategies that you want to adopt? I mean, some of them, to be honest, I kind of find the start easy and strong. That's kind of an easy one to understand. So if I were choosing something, I would choose that one. But you might have your own that you prefer to employ. And I encourage you to do something this semester to move yourself towards a growth mindset, remembering that we aren't fixed. You're not stuck. You can improve and uh, someone like a math major or someone that you think is that those people are brilliant, they're smart. They weren't always that way. It took them a while to develop and grow. And that's what we're doing here, hopefully. All right, we're going to move on here. Takeaways, questions to ask yourself. Page 49, let's take a peek. Get this thing to work for me. There it is. Okay, page 49. So at the bottom, I'm not sure, I don't know if you did these questions or not, but I just want to encourage you to consider them at the very least. For example, before you began reading this chapter, would you say you had a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? And probably we're all in some stage of being in between. Maybe more fixed, more growth, depending on what we're working on. The second question, do you think your closest friends and family are mostly fixed or mostly growth mindset? And this is important because who we associate with affects our outlook. List a few ways you can maintain a growth mindset in a fixed mindset atmosphere. Yeah, sorry, it's gonna my battery's computer's about to die because even though it's plugged in, it's not charging. I don't know why. I don't care. Yeah, that's a fixed mindset, buddy. Okay. Do you believe your current ability or your future behavior will determine your grades in the future? So that's a big one. We know what it should be. It should be your future behavior, not your current ability. But anyway, you can consider these. These are super important. And then finally, on number 5, I just wanted to highlight these in case you didn't happen to notice them. Or sometimes you skip. I do this. I see this stuff at the end, and I think, oh, it doesn't matter. Do you believe that you will be smarter in 5 years than you are right now? What about in 1 year? What about in 1 month? It says explain, but these are just things to be considering as you consider how to move forward. Okay, a few things just to finish things up. Pulse survey. If you've not done it, please do it this week. This is the week for the pulse survey. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Do it. Next, upcoming events. I think that we have 2 things today. Is that right? I think so. We've got the cookout, which you all know about. I've been hounding you about this. I'm going to be going there in just a minute. But there's also the volleyball game. Did Juliana tell you about this? Going to the volleyball game after the cookout? Anyway, go hunt her down, text her. She's going to be at the cookout too. So go to the volleyball game and just say hi to her, and you'll get credit for that. Still working out how to put the grades in for these things. We'll get it worked out. Don't worry. I'll explain it once I get it figured out. Cookout, just to remind you, today is the day. It's at my house, 1117 East Vine Street. Just a few instructions. I want to make sure my wife asked me to do this so that you would understand what to do. When you get there, if I'm not at the door, just come right in. Come right in the front door, go right towards the back. Another option, if you're too embarrassed to go in the front door, go around back. Around back, the deck in back is where the cookout is, and there's food there as well as on the porch or whatever it is. So anyway, you can go straight through or you can go around back. Either way, park in the street if you want or park in the driveway. It'll be okay. You will be able to get out. Just if you go in the driveway, just go right in. Be proud and be brave. Just go right into the driveway all the way up to the end of the driveway or as far as you can get, and we'll sort it out. I do this every year with my calculus students, and they figure it out. They all get out eventually. It's fine. So you're not going to be stuck there the rest of your life. You'll get out. Finally, we've already talked about the people who have an issue. So I've got your list. I'll deal with you guys later. Maybe I'll make you go for a jog with me, or we could go for a bike ride. That would be fun. Look, yeah. Makai wants to go for a bike ride? Unbelievable. I shouldn't have opened my mouth. No, I'm just kidding. No, that'd be great. If you want to go for a bike ride, we'll do it. We'll talk later, though. We'll figure it out. I got to get through today and this week first, 1 week at a time. Finally, I think we've got all the ride situation figured out. But if you still need a ride, stick around afterwards. I'll try to connect you with Juliana. She had emailed everyone, didn't she, about this? So if you still need a ride, contact her. I guess that would be easier than sticking around and talking to me. Finally, there is homework. So what is the homework? You have Jacob. So this one is another relatively easy. I should say relatively. Oh, wait, here, just a minute. There. Is that better? It's got my, yeah, is it be real
Do
time?
exactly what we're doing.
Okay, so anyway, I don't know why you can't, well, anyway, it's in the syllabus too, but I'm just reminding you that you have Alan Jacobs, the introduction from his book, How to Think. It's the very next thing in your course reader here. And journal entry 2, I just want to bring that back to your attention, remind you of the situation there. And of course, the book typos. If you find one, keep track of them. And even if you're not sure, someone, I forget who, someone in the back said, this might be a typo. And it's like, I didn't even notice that. I don't know if it is or not, but you could submit it and I'll send it on. It seems legit to me. I mean, it seems like it might be. So yeah, submit it and you'll get some sort of extra credit. But submit them online. There's a little form on our Moodle page. Is that it? Look at that. And the computer still hasn't died, even though it's threatening to. Is there anything else? Other questions, concerns, or worries? All right, well, I better stop this thing from recording because it is dead just about. So we will see you in a few hours.